Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jerso and I make bookish related videos, vlogs, and some lifestyle content. So go ahead and subscribe and like this video if you're interested in seeing some more. Today I am here with a book haul and I keep looking down because there's like a huge circle of all the books I've gotten, and I am aware that I have a book buying problem. So I think after this I'm going to try and put myself on a book buying ban at least until my birthday. My birthday's in November and I know that I can't just not buy books in November. So the hope is this is my last big book purchase. We'll see. I have a lot of books here, so I think we should just get started. Before we officially get started, I do want to let you guys know that I have my September TBR video linked down below, and if you haven't watched that yet, you should pause this video, go watch it, and then come back to finish this one. So let's get started. I got my beverage. Okay, so the first book that I've purchased is Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson. I honestly really I have a thing with like pink and blue covers. I just have to get them. It's so weird. But anyways, Truly Devious is a young adult murder mystery thriller thingy. This book is about a school called Ellingham Academy, and it's like this famous school for gifted and extraordinary kids, and the owner's wife and daughter gets kidnapped and they're missing, and then we fast forward and our main character Phoebe gets enrolled into this school, and she kind of makes it her mission to solve the kidnapping and the disappearance. And I thought that this would be like a cute little story, like a cute little mystery, and I'm not huge on mysteries, but I've heard lots of good things about this one, so I wanted to try it out. So the next book that I got is The Honey Don't List by Christina Lauren, and this is a contemporary romance about a girl named Carrie who works for this home renovation couple, and they're super famous and known for just being like a super sweet couple. But the problem is that these two don't really like each other. So Carrie, our main character, and our other main character James go on tour with this couple because they want to make sure everything is going correctly on tour and keeping the couple together so that they are able to keep their jobs, essentially, because they both really need the jobs. That's a terrible description, but I feel like this is a hate to love romance, and I really love those. So I picked this up. The next book we have I'm very excited about, and I feel like I'm gonna pick this up like right away. And to answer your question, no, it's not on my September TBR, but I kind of already knew I wasn't going to stick to that this month. But the next book that we have is Jade City by Fonda Lee. It is about it's kind of like a mob-like type story, and it's about two families who basically control the entire city because they control the magical jade, and in this world jade is responsible for giving people like supernatural powers, and because the two families own like a majority of the jade, they control basically everything. And so I think like a war erupts between the two families, but I've heard that there's also like a romance, and I'm guessing that the romance happens between two people from the differing families, and this just sounds so good to read right now. So I've heard it described as like a mob fantasy romance, and I was like, add to cart, and I got it. The next book that I picked up is The Worst Best Man by Mia Sosa. This is about our main character, Carolina Santos. She is a wedding planner who gets left at the altar at her own wedding. Fast forward months later, she gets this huge work opportunity, and the catch is that she has to work with her ex-fiance's brother, who happened to be the best man that ruined the wedding, and a romance sparks between the two, and I was interested to know how that's gonna work. Like, how can you fall for your ex-fiance's brother? I picked it up. Next we have a historical romance. This is my first historical romance that I picked up. I picked this up because it's by Tessa Dare, and I've heard that if you wanted to start with historical romance, basically, she's a good place to start because she's one of the best authors. So I picked up When a Scot Ties a Knot because it seemed like a good place to start. It seemed really funny. This one is about our main character, Madeline. She is seen as like shy and reserved, and she's not married yet, and everybody's like wondering like what's wrong with her, why isn't she married? And so to get everybody off her back, she starts writing love letters to her so-called boyfriend or something. I don't know historical romance terms, but she starts writing letters to her romantic interest, except the person doesn't exist. Like, she's writing fake letters to just the world, basically. And so one day the guy that she's writing letters to turns out to be real and shows up on her doorstep and was like, I want to do everything you said in those letters, so let's get married. And I was like, all right. So I'm excited to see where this goes as my first historical romance. The next book I picked up from Half Price Books, and it is A Curse So Dark and Lonely by Bridget Kemmerer. And like I said, books with blue covers just speak to me. So I saw this cover, I fell in love, and I also heard it's a Beauty and the Beast retelling, and I was like, that's perfect. I literally love Beauty and the Beast, so I figured I would love this, and I picked it up. So hopefully I get to read this one soon. The next book that I have, I also picked up from Half Price Books, and it's Then, Now, Always by Mona Sharaf. Not pronouncing that right, but Mona Sharaf. Yeah. So this one I haven't seen or heard a lot about, but it is about our main character, Maya, who has a teenage daughter named Samantha, and Samantha gets into some legal trouble, and so Maya has to ask Samantha's father to help them out. But the problem is Samantha's father, whose name is Sam, which I thought was weird, Sam and Samantha. But anyways, Samantha's father, Sam, doesn't really know about Samantha. So once Maya shows up, Sam's just like, you didn't even tell me I had a child. And from what I can read, it seems like it would be like a second chance romance. So I figured it'd be like a cute little light read to pick up whenever I'm in the mood for it. The next book that I have is The House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune. This book has been everywhere. It's, I don't even know how to describe it, like contemporary fantasy, magical realism. I've heard it described both ways, but look at this cover. I love this cover. But this is about a caseworker named Linus who has to visit an orphanage that houses children with magical powers, and I've heard that a romance sparks up between Linus and the orphanage owner, and it also has LGBTQ rep, which we love to see. Next book I've recently purchased is Happy and You Know It by Laura Hankin. I found this also at Half Price Books, which I've been wanting to read this one since Book of the Month came out with it, and I didn't have Book of the Month and I didn't want to purchase it full price. So when I saw it, I was like, this is perfect. So I got it. And this one is contemporary fiction, and this is about our main character Claire, who used to be a part of a band, but I think she gets fired from the band or something like that. She leaves the band and the band blows up, and Claire gets a gig for playing for, like, she gets a musical gig playing for, I think, rich infants in New York City, and she starts befriending the mothers of these infants. And I've heard this is like a messy white woman drama, like Real Housewives of Beverly Hills type stuff, and I was like, if there's one thing I love, it's a messy book and it's white women drama. So I got it. So me being me, I picked up another Christina Lauren romance, even though I don't know how she writes. I've never read any of her books before, but this cover was yellow. So we're just gonna have to hope that I love Christina Lauren as much as everybody else. So this is The Unhoneymooners. It's about a girl named Olive, and she is having a rough time in the love life department, and she is, I think, the maid of honor in her sister's wedding, and everyone at the wedding ends up getting food poisoning except for Olive and the best man. And those two don't like each other, but they can't say no to an opportunity of going on an all expenses paid honeymoon since the bride and the groom can't go. So Olive and Ethan go on the honeymoon, and I think Olive tells like a lie to her boss or something, so they have to pretend to be married, and a hate to love romance starts between them. So I thought this would be a nice little pick-me-up and super cute, so I got it. I think we're almost done. Okay, so the next book that I purchased is The Vanishing Half by Brit Bennett. This one I've heard so many good things about. This is about two twin sisters who are white passing, and they live in a black southern town, which they end up running away from. And I think both take, when they run away, they both take separate life paths, I want to say. One of the sisters ends up marrying a dark chocolate man and has a black daughter and moves back to the black southern town, while the other sister marries a white man and tries to hide her black identity. And after 10 years they finally come together and they see each other again. I believe it's a story about how them choosing different paths affects how they see each other now, and how it affects how their life went. And I thought this would be a really interesting book, and I've heard that it really dives into colorism in the black community, and I've heard so many great things about Brit Bennett as a writer. I heard the writing style is really captivating, so I'm really hoping I love this. The next book that I purchased is The Right Swipe. This one is another rom-com, I feel like, and it's about our main character, Rhiannon, has created this dating app, and she has basically like sworn off serious relationships, so she uses her dating apps for hookups. And one day she matches with this pro football player named Samson, and they have their one night stand, and he completely ghosts her afterwards, and she's like low-key heard about it. And then I think a month later they meet again, and there's like a business opportunity between the two of them, but she's a little apprehensive about starting their little fling again, and he's just like, oh, I promise I won't ghost you anymore. And I think this is like a super cute second chance romance. The next book I have is Smitten by the Brit by Melanie Johnson, and this one I just randomly found at Half Price Books, and the cover looks cute, so put this in my cart. But it seems like one of those cliche rom-coms. It's about our main character Bonnie, and she finds out something about her fiance, ends the wedding, and then fate brings her to England for a summer where she meets the love interest Theo, and they decide to start a friends with benefits relationship, and we all know how that turns out. But I don't know, I feel like this would just be like a cute little easy breezy read. The next book I got is The Year of Rest and Relaxation. I'm going to screw up this author's name, so I don't even feel like I should attempt to say it, but it's by Otessa Moshfegh. I do not know. This one is about our narrator. I don't know even if they tell us her name, but our narrator is a young woman who is a Columbia graduate, and she should be pretty happy with everything that's going on in her life, but she just feels like this empty void. So to solve this problem, she spends a year being under the influence of a whole bunch of crazy drugs to like fill that void. And this just seems so weird that I had to pick it up. And this cover just makes it even weirder. And this is one of the books that I had in my cart. Like, I kept adding it in my cart and then taking it out, and like adding it in my cart on Amazon, taking it out, and I just never bought it. But when I went to Half Price Books, I saw it and I was like, it's fate. I need to get it. The next book I am very, 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 very excited about, and this is Burn Our Bodies Down by Rory Power. I have heard so many good things about this book. This is a young adult horror book, and I've never read a horror book before because I am a baby and I literally get scared over the smallest things. But I've heard so many rave reviews about this, and I think Ashley from The Bookish Realm did an entire reading vlog about this, and after I saw that, I was sold. I wanted to read it right away. So this book is about our main character, Margot, and she comes from like a broken family. She doesn't know much about her extended family, and her mom doesn't really tell her anything at all either. So Margot is very curious, so she goes to the town that her mom was born in and meets her grandmother and starts asking questions. And from what I heard, she like the story just takes several turns that you're not really expecting. Next book is The Lovely War by Julie Berry, and I'm going to be completely honest, I have no idea what this is about. I saw it at Barnes & Noble and the cover looked so cute, and I think it's like a historical fiction romance. I looked it up on Goodreads and it has like such a high star rating, so I was like, nah, add to cart. Last book in this video is Sadie by Courtney Summers. This is a young adult mystery about a girl named Sadie. whose little sister ends up getting murdered, and Sadie feels like the police completely botched the investigation, so she goes off and she tries to find out who killed her sister, and Sadie also ends up missing. And then we have our other character, who is West, who is a radio host, and he ends up starting a podcast to kind of track Sadie and find out what happens to the sisters, who kidnapped them, if Sadie is even still alive. And it's told in a dual perspective, so we get this we get the perspective of Sadie, and we also get the perspective of West. So that is it for my huge book haul. Hopefully I don't have another one of these going up on my channel anytime soon, because I really need to stop buying books, at least until my birthday. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and leave down in the comments if any of these books interest you. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys with another video soon.